So the theme of the first 3 weeks of our Vesper services has been renewal, and this is the final of the 3. The first one, I focused on prophecy and its importance and our collective responsibility in renewal. And then the second one was focused on our individual responsibility in renewal. And then tonight I'm taking a deeper dive on the underpinnings of renewal. And I read to you from Wendell Berry's book. I'll give you a little background on Wendell Berry. Who is this guy, Wendell Berry, anyway? Funny you should ask. Wendell Berry grew up in rural Kentucky, in farm country, and in a farm family. He got his education at the University of Kentucky and then at Stanford, his doctorate, and he moved on to NYU, New York University, and was a professor of English. And he was also a writer of poetry and prose and incredible articles that he published, essays and so forth. He was in New York a short time and said, I got to go back to Kentucky. And people said, you have such incredible talent. You could be a worldwide phenomenon as a writer. And he said, I can't live in this urban environment. It's not balanced. There's something way out of whack here, and I can't stay in this environment. I got to go back to Kentucky. So he did. He went back and took a job teaching at the University of Kentucky, where he had graduated his undergraduate degree, and he and his wife Tanya bought a farm, a 12-acre farm, and have since added on to that. And over time, he has been an incredible advocate for farmland protection and preservation in the country, and as well as ecological things, matters, ecological farming practices, and an awful lot more. Challenging what we eat in America and how we take care of our bodies and the earth and how we don't, and how we need to make significant changes in that. And he talked, as you heard me in that Jefferson essays, he was a man who, and still is a man, by the way, he's 88 years old. He's still at it, still farming, still writing, and prolifically writing poetry and prose, and a lot of articles. He's still challenging the status quo and how we live in this country and how it's very imbalanced. But I want to focus tonight on this whole concept of it all turns on affection, the title of this particular book. And he and I would conjecture that what we truly love, what we feel affection towards, is where we direct our energy. Where we direct our energy. And ultimately, what we accomplish follows that. What do you truly love and what are you committed to really matters. And where you place your affection matters. People often ask me, how did Elaine survive 17 years of ovarian cancer battle? 17 years. When she started on that journey, she had no grandchildren. She started that journey with stage 3 ovarian cancer. The prognosis is she'd be lucky to live 5 years. She lived 17. She ended up with 6 grandchildren, 1 great-grandchild. And she accomplished an incredible amount here at the fellowship in all those ensuing years in her teaching. I don't know how many lives she affected with her readings. And she truly had a passion for her teaching, her readings, and her family. And because she had that passion, it armed her to take on a deadly disease and keep battling it back time and time again. But I'll tell you a story about where her real affection is in all of this. And it became very obvious. She's on her deathbed in hospice care, in her hospital bed, in our bedroom. And every time those grandkids came in, she could be out completely. As soon as they came in and said hello to her, grabbed her hand or whatever, it was like pew, the biggest smile you could ever put on her face. She came out of wherever she was, and she was elated to see them and would stay present and looking at them eye to eye and right with them through that entire bit of conversation. And as soon as they left her, boom, right down again. So the thing is we learned pretty quickly where her true affection was. Her deepest affection was those grandkids. And if you wonder what a big part of why she stayed and battled on through cancer, I mean, we didn't get that reaction. Her boys didn't get that reaction. Their wives didn't get that reaction. Her dearest friends didn't get that reaction. The people that got that reaction where her deepest affection did lie was seeing those and being a part of those grandkids' lives, knowing that they go on beyond her and that she was able to impart in them, each one in their own way, the things they each needed. And they loved her dearly in return. You know, when you boil things down, it's what we truly love and what you hold affection towards. I'll tell you another little story about these grandkids. You know, one of the things I love about young children is they love what I call uncontainably. When they come at you, they're just so excited to see you as a grandparent. You know, it's just the greatest thing in the world. They can't stand it. It's like the love's coming off of them so that they can't hold still. They just got to charge at you and hug you up and love you up. And, whoo, you know, it's just such a wonderful moment. And it's an elation as a grandparent to have that. Just like for Elaine, even as she's dying, she's still has that elation for that enthusiasm the kids bring. And it's such a special moment when we allow ourselves to be loved in that way, to accept that level of affection, and just take it all in, because they have it. That's an incredible gift they're giving us, that love at that level. And our biggest obligation in that moment is just soak it up, take it all in, and give it right back. But it's that uncontainability of the love they express that's just transformational to us adults, because it does get through. We can be distracted, we can be wherever we are, whatever we're caught up in. That can just blow away anything when you get that much love coming at you, that much affection coming at you. It all turns on affection. Your life is an innocent outpicturing of what you hold near and dear, what you hold affection for. When we are moving through renewal in our lives, we need to ask good questions. Good questions. And here's some for you to ponder this evening to take with you. Are your affections aligned with where you are desirous of continuing to grow in your life? I'll read that again. Are your affections aligned with where you are desirous of continuing to grow in your life? Are you extending affection to the level you would like to? Or is there more and different affection to be extended? What would you need to change to create the desired alignments in your life that affection could flow very easily, uncontainably, like it does with those grands? Big questions. And as we conclude our series on renewal, and start our next Vespers theme, which starts next week on the topic of forgiveness, there's a big one, which we all get to struggle with at times and sometimes find peace with. I invite you to continue the process of your own renewal through examining where you are being called to culture in yourself forgiveness as we lead into the next week's Vespers. So, affection. It all turns on affection, in the words of Wendell Berry. And, you know, it's like, where is that going in your life, and what do you want to do about it? And that will bring renewal. Where you put your love matters. And it does bring change. It does bring joy. Have a lovely rest of your evening with us, and leave the rest of our service to conclude. Jane, thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you.
You're welcome.